Fort Delaware, September 22nd, 1864. Brother, a friend expects to leave this place for the South on the next boat. He kindly promised to be the bearer of this. I would have written before this by flag of truce, but we are only allowed to write 10 lines, and that entirely upon family matters. I still hope the contending governments may agree upon terms of exchange, and look forward with pleasure to the time I shall again be comparatively free. For I assure you that confinement in a Yankee prison is anything but pleasant. It is needless for me to describe our treatment here, or even the prison in which we are confined. You will doubtless see some of the exchange prisoners who will inform you how things are conducted here. I shall be glad if you could procure a good pistol and have it for me, so that I may be immediately prepared when exchanged to avenge some of the many insults which have been heaped upon me since I have been a prisoner. You may infer, therefore, that my long residence among the Yankees has not diminished my hatred of them. John Johnson. Richmond, July 1st, 1866. My dear niece, I think it probable that I shall keep Bachelor Hall next year, as I have an idea of engaging in the sheep-raising business. You must not infer from this that I expect to have a house of my own so soon. I shall, perhaps, rent a cabin, buy a table, a bed, and 2 chairs. This will be sufficient to commence with. Should I conclude to take a rib, something more will be needed. She must, however, bring at least a bed, a horse, and a couple of cows. I have but little to do with the ladies now. My heart has been wounded so often that it has become callous. The arrows of Cupid glance from it like squirrel shot from the scales of an alligator. I remain your affectionate uncle, John Johnson. Columbia, April 20th, 1866. Dear Laura, I am now where I have so long wished to be, and being here, feel as if I were in another world. The change from Virginia to Texas is so great that one can scarcely realize that both places are on the same planet. I have been luxuriating on all kinds of vegetables, strawberries, blackberries, and so on. The country presents a beautiful appearance. The trees are in full foliage, and flowers of every hue cover the prairies. I am staying with Mr. Masters. He is the most disinterested friend I ever had, and Mrs. Masters is a perfect model of a woman. I had not been in her house 48 hours before she had mended every worn-out pocket and sewed on every missing button in my trunk. I do not wish to disparage any other person, but she is certainly the best woman I ever knew. I remain your affectionate uncle, John Johnson. Rock Hill, January 5th, 1875. Mrs. Cynthia A. Johnson, my dear wife. After many tribulations and trials, I have reached home. I cannot give you a full description of my trip until I see you, but will give you an outline so that you can imagine some of the horrors I underwent. I camped 2 miles from Plum Creek, and though considerable rain fell, it was not cold, and I managed to get through the night very well. The next day, my troubles began. I rose early and started before daylight. I reached Plum Creek bottom about light. There had been an overflow, and before I had gone far, Thunderbolt was in the bog up to his breast. I then unhitched both horses, tied them to a fence, and started to look for a yoke of steers to pull my wagon out. I succeeded in finding, after walking about 4 miles, an old Negro who agreed to pull my wagon out for $1. After many efforts, he succeeded in getting it out. I had learned in the meantime that Plum Creek was impassable. I determined to try it and offered the old Negro 50 cents to haul me across the creek. He agreed to make the attempt. We crossed the creek without much trouble, but in ascending the north bank, the steers sank so deep in mud that we could just see the tips of their horns. After working with them for about 2 hours, we got them on tolerably firm ground, and they broke the wagon in 2 parts, carrying one half up the hill and leaving the other half in the mud. The next day I had my wagon repaired, and after paying for it, found my pocketbook nearly empty. Kiss the children for me, and get someone to kiss you in my place. I remain your devoted husband, John Johnson.